How is everybody doing today? And in this video, we are going to be looking at what we always do every single patch when it comes to a brand new character's release, and that is going to be looking at the prydwen tier list, which, in all honesty, I have looked at it a little bit beforehand, and I do have some things I want to say in regards to certain units moving up, certain units moving down, how the overall meta is, in my honest opinion, into my own, I guess say, criteria of what these characters can do. And we're just going to go ahead and look into the tier list and see what has changed. Of course, Sunday is here when it comes to being a little bit higher on the list because he is a overall really great support. He's a really good and strong character when it comes to what he's able to do. But I do have a problem with his placement right now. I'm not going to lie. At the current moment, Sunday is in 0.5 for prydwen, and I'm not gonna lie, I think he deserves to be tier 0 because in this game right now, the reason why Robin and REHOO are so freaking good at what they do is because not only do they have a niche team that they absolutely explode in power with, where REHOO has break, Robin has follow-up attack, but looking at Sunday, we know he is a general support as well. He's able to help out every hyper carry in the game. He can help out basically anyone in the game with his plethora of stats he's able to give when it comes to energy, crit damage, cleanse, skill points, all the different type of stuff. And not only that, he has his niche that's going to be coming out in the future, which is in 3.0, which is going to be the summon meta as well. He's the only character that can do his job. He's the only character that can boost up all the other characters when it comes to, or all the other summons that will be coming out in 3.0. And this is a very important thing to think of. I do think he's way stronger than HMC and way stronger than Jiao Shou. I'm not gonna lie to you. When Fugue comes out, I expect Fugue to be in 0.5 in all honesty, because Fugue is going to be a little bit more niche, a little bit more restrictive than a lot of these characters. But I do think Sunday needs to be up here in tier 0. He is definitely going to be a one-of-a-kind unit as of right now. Of course, whenever we do get characters that are going to, let's say, be Robin but summon oriented, then boom, then Sunday gets dropped down one, we knew T0. There's nothing wrong with throwing that up there and then bringing it back down, because that's just the way the meta shifts. That's the way characters' powers end up going up and down. But I do think Sunday overall needs to be in tier 0. He's a very strong character, and a really strong character at that. The next thing when it comes to the tier list is, let's go ahead and look at the damage dealer section. We're gonna move our way to the right. Of course, these guys have not been changed. Right now, we see that Genuine is now in tier 1, and Ratio has fallen down to tier 1 as well. I do agree with this for the most part. Genuine has definitely got an insane buff with the inclusion of Sunday, because of course now Lightning Lord is able to boost up, and I mean boost up, Genuine's performance by quite a bit, just because Lightning Lord can act more than once. Lightning Lord is going to be given so many different boosts. Same thing with Genuine as well, with what Sunday's able to provide. He gets the energy for his Lightning Lord stacks. He has the advanced forward. He has the crit damage, crit rate, all that different type of stuff. Cleanse as well. It's just really good overall when it comes to Genuine and his Lightning Lord with Sunday's release. So yeah, he's overall a really great character right now. Not a character I would say to go and pull, in all honesty, but if you do already have Genuine, you're in a really great spot. You have a really great character for the meta coming forward. And Dr. Ratio, of course, Yun Li and Akron are just absolutely amazing. I do think, in my personal opinion, that Akron still needs to be in tier 0, because although we still think, and I still think this myself, Fei Xiao is undoubtedly number 1, without a doubt. There's no contest, no question, no fight about it. Fei Xiao is number 1 because her team is the best built in the game, without a doubt. Having Topaz, Aventurine, and also Robin, there's kind of no excuse for why she shouldn't be in tier 0, or at that number 1 in the game. But for Akron specifically, she has insane power, and realistically looking at all the teammates she's getting, like Jiao Shou, like Black Swan, and even Silver Wolf Pella and all those other characters, Aventurine as well, she's still outputting a crap ton of damage and a crap ton of investment value versus someone like Yun Li. I do think Yun Li still deserves to be in 0.5 because how versatile she is, and honestly, she's doing really great with these current MLCs, with all these characters attacking so much as they are. So realistically, I do think Yun Li is just a really great character, and I think she should be alone at 0.5, while we have the 2 leaders of DPS that we have at the current moment, Fei Xiao and Akron, in tier 0, in my honest opinion. Who the heck let Blade in 1.5? I'm not gonna lie. Who let Blade in 1.5, and why is Himiko here in tier 2? And why is Settling down here in tier 3? Now, Ching Chui deserved this. She's been deserved this for a long time. I think she should have been tier 3 or 2 since the beginning of time, because her I guess you say damage is so SP unfriendly. Like, she has the ability to just run through all your skill points and not really give anything. And not only that, we're also talking about characters with much more consistency, sharing the same tiers as Ching Chue before she got thrown down all the way to the bottom at tier 3. Sele definitely does not deserve to be in tier 3. Realistically, looking at Sele, she is by far one of the most consistent DPSs in the game if you are able to kit her out right, and it's not even that unrelatable for the most part, and you give her like characters like Yukong that no one wants to play. Sele's actually been able to zero cycle every MOC up until, I don't know if they're able to do it now, but they've been doing it since 1.0 up until last patch. So if they're able to zero cycle with Sele, with subpar relics, well, not subpar, but optimal relics, not unrelatable relics, they have teammates like Sparkle, they have teammates like, I think, Ting Yun or Yukong, whenever they run for Sele. You can look it all up. It's CN Sele goes crazy, and she's still able to zero cycle without a doubt. Doesn't need limited Eidolons, because I've seen plenty of showcases without them. I think Sele deserves to be at least above Blade, or at least take Blade's spot, because what in the fork is he doing still in 1.5? Realistically, Blade hasn't seen any usage, hasn't seen any type of buffs ever since his release. I'm not gonna lie. He has had someone like Sparkle, he has had characters like REHOO, but that buffed up everybody else with them. So that doesn't really change anything when you go from this and everybody else that was already here goes up again. So it doesn't really change much when you are having Blade with all these characters that are coming out. Realistically, they need to drop him down to what I would believe to be probably either there's tier 3 or tier 4, like with Serval. Like, he hasn't done anything realistically, and it's my boy. Don't get me wrong, that is my guy right there. I love Blade. He's by far one of my favorite characters, but in this meta currently in the game, just not gonna cut it anymore, especially with the damage he's doing. Definitely not worth it in my honest opinion. Himiko should be a little bit higher. I do think Himiko should probably take this 1.5 spot, just because realistically Himiko has been doing really good against a lot of these characters in the game, especially when it comes to breaking. And with Firefly period, she's been able to be used as a sub DPS, which is really great for her. And not only that, with the choir, with characters sharing HP, that's also a big buff, because she's able to break multiple different units, get follow-up attacks off all of those units, and is able to do a bunch of damage as well. So I really do think realistically that Himiko deserves to be a little bit higher, because she's been seeing a lot of play. She's been seeing a little bit of extra power as time has gone by, and just overall really good for her when it comes to the MOCs that we've been currently getting. Yeah, we need to move him down. Jingliu, understandable. Right now, Blade and Jingliu are kind of in the same position where their damage just isn't enough anymore at this point. They don't really have a lot of buffers, or they don't have a lot of support for the hyper carry niche that they would need to be able to stick with the big boys like Fei Xiao, Yun Li, and also Acheron. There's just so many archetypes right now, like Break, like DPSs, well, Break, follow up, and also the new summon meta, that is going to be more supported as an archetype than something as general as hyper carry. Other than that, they've moved Misha down to tier 5, which sucks, but you know, that's my boy. Oh well. I'm going into the specialist. Firefly is still in tier 0. As a Firefly main myself, I don't know if she deserves this spot the same way Fei Xiao and these guys do. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think I don't know. It's weird. Like, she's definitely strong, but Rappa and Buhil put out similar performance, if not better, than Firefly. So I really want to know the argument to why Rappa is so freaking low. Firefly, don't know if she deserves tier 0 at this point anymore. Buhil has also been absolutely amazing, and he's still getting buffs as well and can do absolutely nasty damage by himself. Rappa is absolutely disgusting as well with what she's able to do. Her element ignore, her also being one of the best AoE characters in the game for sure. With her ultimate, especially if you can get to breaking on all those characters, yeah, you're gonna see some nasty stuff. I definitely don't think Rappa deserves to be here with March 7th and Mose for sure. She's definitely on another level than these two right here. Although she's absolutely an amazing unit, same thing for Mose. I do think Rappa deserves to at least be 0.5 without a doubt. She definitely needs to be up here with them, especially with Buhil. And Firefly, we're gonna have to wait and see what we do for this, because I'm not 100% sure how I want to do the fight between Firefly, Buhil, and Rappa. But realistically, at least Rappa should be in 0.5 without a doubt. That's something I kind of don't want to fight on, just because I do think she's just a really great character, and I wouldn't put her on the same level as these two. I'm not gonna lie to you. Swan and Kafka still in 1.5. Sadly, hasn't seen any support. Jade is in tier 3. This is an old change, I'm assuming, but to talk on this, I do think she's gonna boost up eventually, especially with Herta being Erudition and she's an Emanator. She might have something to do with Jade, so she might get boosted up pretty soon, which would be really cool. For Amplifier, I already said Sunday deserves to be in tier 0. If they ever replace Sunday with another summon booster, then boom, just bring him back to tier 0.5. But other than that, he's the only character that can do it. And with the plethora of stats that he's able to give, the plethora of support he's able to provide for all these different characters without it being summon related, yeah, Sunday deserves to be in 0. Let's give a male harmony up in there in 0. Other than that, they haven't really changed much in the buff for category for all I know. And then sustain, they brought up Linksha. Linksha has definitely seen a big increase in usage, especially with how much fire we see now in MOC. Not only that, you got Firefly, you also have Fei Xiao's team, because some people rock Linksha with Fei Xiao because she's able to do the follow-up attacks to help Fei Xiao out. I think being a little bit more useful than Aventurine because of how many follow-up attacks she can get off. Not only that, she can also be a DPS Linksha, which I think is a really funny build overall. And with that being said, yeah, she's being moved up to tier 0. Now, one thing I do want to a little bit fight on, because I do think it's something to make note of. I don't think HOHO deserves to be thrown down to tier 0.5. The reason I say this is because HOHO right now is one of the better general sustains in the game, just because of what she's able to provide. Attack boost that's pretty big. On ultimate, she has pretty good cleanse on ultimate as well, with being able to cleanse everybody on the field. Not only that, she has the ability to be SP positive because she does have the heal, and then it stays for 3 turns if I'm not wrong, and then you can re-up it. And then other than that, she also gives energy, which is a really big resource in this game, and can basically provide one of the biggest benefits to a lot of crazy characters like Robin. When you're able to battery Robin while she's in her concerto state, then you're able to do some crazy stuff, especially with HOHO. And looking at a lot of these characters, although some of the big boys right now like Fei Xiao and Acheron don't use energy at the current moment to be able to do their damage, I do think energy without a doubt is still going to be something to stay, still be something that a lot of people are going to use in the game when it comes to new units coming out. So I do think HOHO, even though she doesn't provide a lot of worth on the big boy teams like Fei Xiao and Acheron, definitely still provides a lot of value in a lot of other teams that aren't just that, because you can provide battery for characters like, let's say, Boohill. You can provide battery for something like Jing Yuan if you're not going to be using Sunday, and if you are using Sunday, that's just a bunch of different energy that you're going to be throwing up there. There's just a lot of different teams that still can use HOHO, and I still think HOHO provides a crap ton of general value overall as a sustain, and kind of hasn't been power crept in my honest opinion still, and I think she's still on the caliber as these guys. Now, the only reason I think these guys are up at the top is not only are they able to auto heal and shield by themselves, they're able to keep you from getting CC'd, they're able to cleanse very fast. I think these guys are here for the sole purpose that they can do damage. I think that's the only reason they're keeping these guys in tier 0 and they move HOHO down. But I do think realistically, HOHO supportively is a really great character and should at least be in tier 0. I think she still holds value as much as these guys at the current moment. Now, the only reason these guys right now are at where they're at, again, they do damage, and not only that, I do think that these guys' teams, or their primary teams, are some of the most built in the game, which is why they're probably up here. Aventurine, of course, with follow-up, maybe even Acheron, and same thing with Linksha, follow-up, and also break. Some of the best built teams or the best built archetypes in the game, without a doubt. While HOHO doesn't really have a full-on niche because she's just overall really great general character. So I do want to see her back in tier 0 realistically, because looking at Gallagher and Fu Xuan, Gallagher's going to stay in 0.5 because he's such a great freaking sustain. But Fu Xuan, yeah, we're about to see her plummet to like at least 1.5 very soon. And the reason I say this is because with the summon meta coming out, especially with them saying that summons can have health or something, if Fu Xuan's force field can take up damage from the summons, she's blowing up. She will literally just disintegrate upon the first attack that's AoE. Because imagine there's 4 summons, 4 units. That's 8 total characters on the field. And you do 1 nasty AoE from the enemy, it's over. Fu Xuan is disintegrating. She's turning into ashes right then and there, and she will die. So I feel like that's going to be a really funny thing to see if Fu Xuan can actually sustain with the new summons in mind, because if not, yeah, she's plummeting. She's gonna be one of the worst sustains in the game if that's the case. But other than that, that's gonna be it for this tier list review. I do think some guys should move up, some guys should move down. Other than that, I'm really excited to see where Fugue is going to go. I do have a feeling that she's going to be here at 0.5 because she's not a general support, but she's overall just a really niche support that's really good. Same way Jiao Shou is. And I think she should be at 0.5 with Sunday being moved up to tier 0. And it's crazy to see how many characters we have in this game. Like, there's a lot. And it's getting really cluttered. It's really cool to see the passage of time from 1.0 all the way up until now with how many different units there are in the game and how many different teams there are. It's really good to see. But other than that, that's gonna be it for this video. Make sure to leave a like, comment, sub. Let me know what you think about the tier list. And other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. See you on the next one, and peace.